With 4.0 just being a little over a day away, I'm sure many players are wondering and are on the fence if they should pull for the first half character also lasting for the entire patch, Yao Guang. In this video, I'm going to be going over Yao Guang's kit and what makes her strong and integral for the team starting off, and I also will be talking about a specific issue she does have, which is actually very crucial, as it's actually something that can affect her later, but I also will be talking about how I do think it's going to be getting fixed later. And then at the end, I'll be talking about reasons why you should or should not summon for her. Stuck grinding in Honkai Star Rail? Need Stellar Jades fast? We've got you covered. Head over to U7 Buy, your ultimate gaming hub for save fast and cheap in-game top-ups. Whether it's Star Rail or your other favorite games, U7 delivers instantly and players love it. Check out their Trustpilot reviews, they're actually top ranked. On the Honkai Star Rail direct top-up page, you can recharge your account in seconds. For example, 8080 Honorific shards cost $99.99 in the official store, but on U7 Buy, you can see here it's way cheaper. Just pick your server, enter UID, pay securely, and boom, your account is instantly loaded. Want extra savings? Use code PRETSR at checkout for 5% off, perfect for last minute pulls, battle passes, or surprising a friend. And here's a bonus. If you spend $80 a month on U7 Buy, you can grab the Honkai Star Rail Express Pass for only 1 cent, which is nearly free. Click on the link in my description, recharge fast, save more, and keep blazing those trails. Before hopping into the actual kit overview and also what makes her integral, I do want to mention this video is assuming you, the viewer, already knows how all Elation mechanics work. If you don't, I have a video explaining everything in depth, so you can check that out. So Yao Guang is the first character of Elation, and she's also going to be in the form of a buffer for the team. Throughout her entire kit, she offers the ability to increase the team's Elation via her skill zone. Her ultimate is able to provide everyone all-type respin by 20%. Her talent, if she does possess Certified Banger, is able to give an additional instance of Elation damage and another instance if they consume skill points in the attack. And her Elation skill will also make enemies take 16% increased damage if they do have the debuff. And of course, to top it all off, she is able to generate punchline for the team, whether she uses basic attack or skill or ultimate. So she does have mainly buffs and also a bit of debuffs for the team, but what makes her super integral is the fact that her ultimate is very much theoretically broken. She is actually able to force proc the Aha instant by giving it an extra turn that is a fixed amount of punchline of 20. Meaning when you use her ultimate, you'll give everyone the all-type respin as normal, and you will also force proc Aha instant, which will make her Elation skill go off and any other Elation character on the team's Elation skill go off as a regular Aha instant would. Of course, 20 punchline isn't a crazy amount, but it is still enough to do very solid damage, especially when we get to a later point where there's more Elation characters. So Yao Guang is going to be on these Elation teams as she provides amp that is effective for them, as increasing Elation of course is going to just increase any form of Elation damage on the team. More punchline will mean more Elation damage as well. All-type respin does impact Elation damage, vulnerability does impact Elation damage, and then her own additional instances she is able to apply to other people. So that is also going to be good. And as she is built fast, she is able to also increase Elation by being built faster with every speed that exceeds 120. So building her faster will not only allow her to get more turns for more punchline generation, more energy back because she can attack more for more ultimates, but also will be increasing Elation, which of course can add up to significantly more damage throughout the battle. And then a brief talk about her vertical investment. Both her E1 and S1 are insanely good. E1 does take the edge because it does make the Aha extra turn triggered by her ultimate to punchlines be 40 instead of 20, which is a significant increase to damage. On top of that, she allows any Elation damage from the team to ignore 20% of the target's defense. So not only is that going to be from her extra procs that she's able to do, and then her own Elation skills, anyone on the team that is Elation that has an Elation skill, or just dealing Elation damage, which does include the Elation additional instance she is able to do with her talent, it's all just going to end up doing more damage. So for an early investment of E1, she has a really good investment in that department, and then her S1 at the same time is insanely good, providing 18% speed for the wear, which is going to make her significantly easier to build. On top of that, having a buff for the team, giving them 10% crit rate and 30% crit damage, which is insanely good for just a Lycone effect, while at the same time increasing the energy regen rate for the wear by 12%. So that can help her get energy back faster, and at the start of each wave, wear will regenerate 15 fixed energy. With this Lycone, it is the reason you are able to actually ultimate right away with her. So let's say the battle starts and you have this Lycone on her. Of course, using the technique will allow her to use the skill right away. Once you do get to act right away with her, she would just basic attack and then boom, you can ult. If you don't have this Lycone, unfortunately, you are not able to do that. So you would either need RNG of someone else providing energy or just getting hit. So both of these vertical investment options for her is actually very solid. Now, Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, there is one crucial problem she does have. You can tell her amp overall isn't like an insane thing. 20% all-type res pen is good, increasing elation, all that is good, but necessarily you could have very much expected to see a lot more, because of course she's also tied to being a sub DPS at the same time. And it's very clear that obviously the amp isn't super high just because her whole shtick is being able to force proc AHA, which in an extent is very fair. But the problem she has is her energy requirement of 180 is very difficult to actually deal with. She gets ultimate very slow. I'm just going to assume either S1, so you get the ultimate, you proc it right away. You get that after the first attack, so you're only going to be getting one more attack after that rotation, assuming you don't have a 200 speed build, or a build that has 3 turns within the first MLC cycle. You're not going to be seeing that ultimate for the entire cycle, and she also can't effectively and reliably herself get a 3-turn ultimate compared to many other supports without external help. So you would have to rely on something like Wall, or you would have to rely on getting hit. And even then, getting her ultimate like that is just something that takes a little too long and is definitely something that held her back. If she didn't have this problem and her energy requirement was lower, she would be so significantly better. This is an integral problem that you do want to think about in case it doesn't actually ever get addressed, as it could be something to bite her, especially later. However, I personally do think the way they are going to solve this is by, in the future, there's going to be an Elation character that provides some form of either an energy rate increase or just energy for the team or a specific character of choosing. Whether that be the Elation MC when we get it, whether that be one of the future characters, we will have to see, but that is also my assumption. Or potentially an existing character such as Wolf getting a buff. Maybe they're going to have a way to make a certain character receive more energy from Wolf's ultimate. Maybe that would be another way to help, and she would be an integral sustain on the team. That is just assumptions though, so that could be real, it could be not, we will have to see. Another thing is, with more Elation characters on the team, the AHA instant speed formula is going to get faster, so you can get more AHA instant procs. More procs would mean, of course, more Yao Guang skills, which allows her to get energy more. So that, in theory, is another way to help it. Of course, it's not going to be enough on its own. So that is the problem, and also how I do think they're going to address it. But of course, that is not going to be answered without a decent amount of time. Probably not until around a full team and a half of Elation characters. If by then we don't really have a solution to it, then I'm going to safely assume there's nothing. But if we do get one by then, it would probably be around then. One thing I want to get into before I talk about should you summon is the whole, can I pull Yao Guang for X different character that exists? I'm not really going to tap into it too much. It's genuinely not worth talking about. Yao Guang is just not a character you should pull for non-Elation teams. She is not best in slot with any existing character outside of Elation. She is not going to be either. Her whole role is to be integral to Elation specific teams. I'm going to mainly be looking at it with characters like Sparksy in mind and future Elation characters and her spot there. I'm not really going to be considering existing characters. So the people that want to ask, like, can I pull her for Archer? Can I pull her for Fei Xiao? She is genuinely going to be a downgrade in every way compared to their best teams. It is just not worth doing at all, and you're much better off allocating your pulls to their teams and their dupes that already exist, since you're just going to notice a drop off instead if you pull Yao Guang for existing teams outside of Elation. So I want to have that as a disclaimer because people ask that question a lot. It is just not worth it. Now, reasons why you should or should not summon for Yao Guang, starting off with reasons why you should. If you're interested in Elation meta and you want to have the smoothest start possible, Yao Guang is of course going to be a pick you can have. She's also going to be one of the first of 2 characters to be out, so really you're going to get her and she's not going to really be able to be used on teams right now besides cope options. And then Sparksy would release and then you would finally have a team where you can use both on effectively for a best in slot. So if you want to get into Elation and or you just plan on getting Sparksy specifically in those 2 cases, or one of them at least, you definitely want to pick up Yao Guang. Sparksy is going to have a significant drop-off without Yao Guang. She does work without Yao Guang, but it's a very big drop-off. So if you're just interested in getting Elation DPS in the form of Sparksy or even a future character, or you still just plan on getting Sparksy in general for maybe a future team she might be on, any of those reasons, it would be a reason to pick up Yao Guang, as she is going to be, again, integral for that early Elation team, mainly being with Sparksy, as there's not many options. And in the future, even if she's not the best in slot for a specific team, she's definitely going to be the second best because of what she does. So if you're interested in any form of Elation now or later, it definitely would make her a good pickup option. Of course, there is an alternative I will mention in the should you not summon side in a second. So again, if you are interested in the early Elation meta and interested in Sparksy specifically, or even another Elation character that probably will come out during anniversary, in that case, Yao Guang is actually a good pickup to consider. And then reasons why you should not summon is the opposite. If you are not interested in the Elation meta whatsoever, you have zero reason to pick her up, as she is not going to be a unit you want to pull for any other team. I've received many comments of people asking about, is Yao Guang going to work on X team like Archer or Phase Shout? No, the answer is no. They can work. It's genuinely not worth it. It's not worth your pulls. You're better off just pulling off an Eidolon on one of the character's best teams, such as even Sparkle E1. That's going to do you more good than bad. Yao Guang is a character you should only reserve for pulling if you are interested in Elation. If you're not interested in Elation and you don't want to get anyone else, then Yao Guang is really a character you should not consider. It would kind of be like deciding to pick up Cyrene when you have no interest in Remembrance characters or Crisis Heirs. You just want to get Cyrene. It's genuinely not worth it. So if you really just are not interested in the Elation meta whatsoever, you don't really plan on getting into it at all, that is your biggest reason to skip, and you should just genuinely not summon on her, as she's not going to do much for your account, and those pulls are very much better allocated elsewhere. And then for another slight reason is maybe you're interested in Elation, but you're just wanting to know if Yao Guang is actually going to be on the best in slot team for a future Elation character, such as Silverwolf or Yai when they are released, or whatever Elation character in the future, of course. Another option you can do in that case is, for this first run, just skip out and wait for the rerun and find out when the other character is released if she is on that team, because if she's on that team, she will rerun by then. So if she actually is on the team, within 3 to 4 patches, Yao Guang definitely will be back. So that is another alternative route you can take. Maybe once again you are interested in a later character, so not Sparksy, because Sparksy does want Yao Guang. But yeah, in the future, maybe a character that is going to be released that you're interested in, that is going to be Elation. If you're wanting to get into Elation for that later, and again, you're just kind of on the fence of pulling her because you want to make sure you have the best team and you don't want to settle for the second best option, in that case, again, just skip Yao Guang now and pull her on a rerun. That does bring this video to a close, talking about reasons why you should or should not summon for Yao Guang, also talking about her kit, what makes her integral for early Elation, and a crucial problem that she does have and how I do think they'll end up fixing it. I do hope you found this video helpful. If you did, dropping a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel or haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for future videos like this, along with all other types of style content. And I'll see you later. Peace out.